Today we are talking with Raaghavi Nityanand. I said it right.
Yeah.
So Raaghavi is here. She is the founder of the online community for Indian women entrepreneurs, that is popularly known as WOI, Womenpreneurs of India. So by profession, she's an engineer, but she had her heart always in business and writing. So right now she is writing about business women. She wants to motivate, inspire, and support the Indian women entrepreneurs. Raaghavi, welcome.
Hi, Manasa. Hi. So it's very glad to connect with you again after your feature on a platform. I hope your mother is also doing fine. And yesterday also I was talking about yourself and your mom with my mother. I showed how your page has come from a very long way and how your mother and daughter duo is performing very well. And she loved it, and she also wanted me to join with her to start something of our own.
Oh,
And you have
that's
been an inspiration
super.
with that, and thanks for having me here.
It's our pleasure. We actually, honestly, it's the other way around, right? You usually write about people, but we wanted to know your story, how you started with it, and what was your idea and everything. So, first of all, we hope all your family is together and safe in the situation we are facing. So, we thought we'll use this
Yes, yes.
isolation period to talk to people more and bring out some more positive stories that, you know, keeps us going every day. So share
That's great.
share
That's
with
great.
us share with us how Womenpreneurs of India started and where you wanted to be and what was your journey like.
Yes, I'm an engineer by profession, so I happen to quit my job because I have to take care of my son, like every other women do these days. Since I'm in a nuclear family setup, and I don't want him to live in other hands, and mine was actually a different delivery experience. So I also always wanted to connect with my kids, so I just quit my job. But then I had something within me that I have to do something of my own, starting a business. I also had this thing, starting a saree business in my mind. But I had some fear. I needed some motivation. I need some push. Though I come from a business family, like my father is a businessman and my mother has also been into business. Something stopped me. I don't know what that was, and that's when I wanted to know why am I not able to do this, and how other women out there are making it so easy. That's when I started to figure out there are a lot of women who do this beyond their struggles, beyond their barriers, and I also felt they need to be recognized. Each of them have their own struggle story, and they within themselves also, they need to be recognized. Like within their families they have barriers that they have to struggle to start something of their own. Next they have to struggle with their economic barriers, and with all of it, with all of the constraint, a lot of women make it look so easy, but it's not the same in reality. And that part we have to make it visible to the world, and we have to just pull in a lot of women into business world. And I hope we are doing it in a right way, and
Yes.
I hope so we grow we grow in a very good way in future too.
Oh yes, and it's phenomenal growth you have shown also, right? It is only what 1.5 years you started, but you have brought out so many stories. You were
Yes, initially it was I focused only on interviews and featuring women entrepreneurs, but then I happened to also know that a lot of women needed some basic business education. They know, we see a lot of women starting home businesses from their homes. They do it with women in their environment, and when they have to come out of their comfort zone, when they have to interact with other people, when they have to network with other people out of their comfort zones, I saw there was a struggle with these women. And they lacked something. I don't know if it's their self-doubt, or it's because they fear that they don't know much. I just don't want that with these women. I wanted to just push them a little, and so I started off this business content sharing, everyday motivational business content and tips. Also with business features, like featuring and interviewing people is I found it really challenging, because managing single-handedly every operation of this platform was more challenging, and I had my personal life to look into. So I was not able to continue only with this futures. But still, somehow this I had it within me, and I was able to do this 50 plus interviews. And I don't know, I really don't know how I was able to do all this, but thank God, I'm happy about it.
As I mean, there are two good points which I want to say in whatever you just said. One is that self doubt, which I think it's the way we are conditioned, that we are tuned to being humble, not taking compliments,
Exactly.
and not believing ourselves. I'm also like that, and I'm sure most of us are like that. It's probably how the society around us has built us. So that is actually a very good thing which you're doing. Many times you have helped me also with the content, how to do and keep yourself motivated, because also running on most of the brands these days are a parallel ones which are running parallelly to the careers which we are already trying to establish. So there are times which we are demotivated. That's when WI actually helps us, saying that okay, today's, I think yesterday, or I don't know, a couple of days before, you posted about mental health. So that was very thoughtful of you, because currently all of us are there.
Very true, very true. I'm very glad to know your opinion on this. I'm happy if it helped, and at least one person, if it helped one person, I'm really happy. I don't know, but I'm happy to hear this, because a lot of women, I know they like our post, they are finding it useful, but even sharing their feedback about it, something stops them. And thanks for your feedback, and it's really motivating for us to grow even more.
Oh yes, amazingly you're doing your work. That, and also the nice part about your initiative is that, like you said, there is a lot of struggle behind one good picture. Or like, we only see the pictures and we tend to make opinions which are good or bad, but showing the struggle on the other side is what you're basically trying to do. So that is an amazing idea, and I'm so glad you're doing so well.
Thank you, Manasa.
Any, like, because we are talking about this self doubt and all that, any situations where you actually felt, Arey, why did I take this up? Or you know any small disappointments?
Actually, that's a good question. Um, I don't know. I would like to say yes, no, because there had been situations where I don't want to make it happen right at that moment. But still, it was always on my top of my head. Like, if not now, at least in future, I would take this up and I would do this, because recently we had an interview with. A founder of a parenting app. When I had asked her the same question, she told me this. I don't think entrepreneurs have this idea of quitting. Like she said, when I when I remember her lines, and when I think of those days when I had some difficult times, I really feel I really don't want to quit. But there had been times I take some break. I need some time to prepare myself to get back and work on it, but never a point I never felt I have to quit this, because somewhere I feel like WA has become my child, and I'm going crazy every day with it. I really don't want to quit, but I do want to take breaks often, so it helps me come back with good energy and continue my work best.
Yeah, and yeah, WOI being your baby, I totally understand that feeling. And especially all the graphics you post, and they are so very concise, and also they give you the right point out. So glad to know that you actually, I think that's also a good idea. Taking breaks is also, it also helps you freshen up your mind and probably, break out of the chain of what the same things which we are doing. So that's also a good idea actually, to put out that take breaks. Nice. So like you were sharing about the recent interview and an excerpt of it, any such lessons you have, taken from the stories that you have shared? 50 plus brands in 1 year is actually a huge amount of work. And your interview also is very lovely. In a way, it flows very easily. So there's a lot of hard work behind it, obviously. So share us some lessons you picked up, good, bad, funny, anything.
Okay. Um, yes, I won't say that I never learned from this, because this being my baby and working on it every time. No, uh, sharing about funny incidents, like I really get weird requests, like I just get lame links asking them to feature, and there is nothing about from who I get the request or what their business is about, nothing. And those time I really feel it's some point of time I really feel it's a bit funny, but uh, it also makes me feel pity, like, because they don't even know how to reach out to someone to uh, expose their strengths, expose their abilities, and that makes me want to work even more with this organization to empower these women. Like, if there are times when I thought, no, I don't think this story will inspire a lot of people. Like, to be frank, I'm talking as a founder,
Yeah.
and to be frank, there are stories which I really don't feel like it would connect with my audience. But there are stories which I felt I should haven't missed this. Like, initially when they had reached to me, I would have not taken up their request. I would have been busy with another story and all. But there have been times I felt bad of not taking up their story initially. There are two, three feature posts and people who, I mean, it connects with me. Like, whenever I don't want to actually mention the name, but there was this one woman who reached out to me asking me to write about her entrepreneurial journey, and we took some time. We had other things to sort of, and then we wrote about her story. Once it went live, I reached her out saying, "Your story is live now." She just told me, "My husband passed away 3 days back. I'm sorry, I can't react to this." You know, there are times when this this I really can't explain it in words. And there is someone else who reached out to me telling, "Your post has really helped me gain more number of followers, audience, and they have made purchase with me." And there are a lot of other women who I see them more than inspiration. Like, they have personal life struggles, economical struggles. Beyond all that, they try to help other women, empower other women, and still they struggle hard to become financially independent, take care of their families. Each story has something in it, but at this moment I'm not able to really point out each and every single point with each story. But this one thing, no, when you ask me, this is the one thing I quickly remember, that's top of my head. We have been through these situations and all. uh, I would say there's something in every story. And talking about the flow, I had interviewing experience with other inspiring mothers when I had a mom blog. So out of that experience, I tried to take up that experience and use it for WOA. And also, I'm sorry. Uh, and also, from childhood, I have been reading all of these regional magazines that my mother used to get me every week. I used to read every inspiring story of every women from nook and corner of these villages, and people from cities leaving their corporate jobs and taking up business. And I don't know, from every story that we come through from childhood to now, it always has impact in us. And I believe, with respect to our platform, it's an entrepreneur platform, and each story of these women is definitely going to inspire other women to get into business. And there are certain things, like an experience I shared with you, that we can't deliberately tell it with other people. And at that time, when there isn't an engagement with that post, it really affects us. Like, we wanted to help that person, but if there isn't any engagement for that particular post, and we have to struggle hard for that, at that situation, we really feel bad about that. And we have to put in a lot of effort that at that time to make the story go well. And
Right.
it's a mixture of everything. So I
When
hope
you put
this
your,
answers.
sorry to interrupt, when you put your heart all out into it, and you also carry a sense of responsibility and a connection to each and every story, right? So that's beautiful. Also, like you said, every story influences us. That was the only reason we took up these stories with MM. We initially started saying share your memories with saris, but deep down, all of us women are connected some way or the other, be it with our struggles, be it with our successes, and how we are grown, how we have developed our personalities some way or the other. So each and every story influences us. That is why we wanted to bring out your story also. So maybe the last question for you, share your relationship with your saris or handlooms. What do you think of what the brand as MudraMagik we are doing? Anything you want to share?
Yeah. First of all, thanks to you for having me here. Sharing about my saree story. I really love wearing saree, but the one thing that I find it difficult is fitting blouse that goes well with the saree. And even today, I wanted to be in a saree. I really love to be in a saree, but the struggle is real. I had
Oh,
to.
totally.
I had to go through my mom's wardrobe, and I have to sort things out to go
Yes, we also
to
bond
make
on
it
that.
go well.
True.
That's the one thing that stops me from wearing saree. But otherwise, even if I believe even saree has stories, right? Like the first saree I wore, the first saree I bought from my own money. First, my wedding saree, and the first saree when I wore after after having my son. And like I think every saree has its own
Yeah.
story too.
Yeah. Sure.
With that regard, and with your campaign, I just went through the campaign and read all the posts under the hashtag, and it was really I don't have an exact word like being a writer. I'm able to write it easily, but when I, I speak it in words, I find it hard to explain. I even read one of your personal feature on some other site that was under the hashtag, and it when we read other story, we get to know a new perspective. We get to know the person more. We get to know a lot of things around the story that revolves around the story. And your initiative stories with MM is a really super initiative that I wish you need to continue this even for a long term, and you have to interact with many more other inspiring women and bring in a lot of stories under this campaign. I wish to read a lot of them. And about MudraMagik, like I told you initially, I have been talking about your brand. I showed all your posts and shared about yourself and your mother's mom duo combination about everything about MudraMagik with my mom, and she told like, yes, we also have to do something like this. I think that's what you do. That's where you stand. Okay? Not only as a business, but as business owners, you are creating some impact. So I don't have any more words more than this to explain my feeling with MudraMagik, and I wish you a very all the best. Also, I don't know for
we loved the honest interactions which we did in the last few minutes. Thank you so much for being so candid about everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.